Hello, I'm Katherine Ware, curator of photography at the New Mexico Museum of Art, where we will be premiering the exhibition Breathtaking in spring 2021. The show brings together the work of 18 contemporary artists working in a variety of mediums, all exploring the fundamental and ephemeral subject of breath. Today, I'm talking with one of the artists in the exhibition, Linda Alterwitz in Nevada. And Linda works often with photography as a way to investigate the intersections between art, science, and technology. In 2013, she began creating interactive breathing portraits with participants around the world. And the exhibition includes a selection of 12 of those pieces from the series in an installation. Linda, tell us a little bit about these unusual portraits.
It's a poetic way to capture and document breath. I travel with each participant to a place where he or she feels at peace, or sanctuary. And I ask each person to lay down on the earth and I place my digital camera on his or her chest, pointing up to the sky for a 30-second exposure. My instructions are really simple. I say, just breathe. And during those 30 seconds, each person, while they're breathing, their chest is rising and falling about 5 times for the average adult during 30 seconds. And the sensor of my camera is collecting information of the movement of their chest, whether it's the stars above them or nature, trees, clouds, whatever it is. And that's what's happening. That's the science behind it.
Well, what first led you to make art on the subject of breath?
Well, for the last 14 years, my work has focused on envisioning the unseen rhythms of the human body and that relationship to the natural world. Breathing, for example, is our most important internal rhythm. It verifies that we are indeed alive. And when you combine breath with nature, you create an internal connection and really a unique experience.
Well, that is a really profound connection, right? Because as we breathe, the Earth's atmosphere literally comes inside our bodies. So there is that connection. But at the same time, that's not the easiest thing to capture with a photograph, with a camera, right? So what was your process? What was your process in, approaching that challenge of making it visible?
Well, believe it or not, this project began as a mistake. That's the truth. My husband and I were visiting the Dominican Republic, and what we loved more than anything was the beach at night, watching the waves and looking up at the stars. It was so incredible that I wanted to capture the experience of it. I had a camera and decided to experiment with time exposures of the waves. So I used the materials I had at hand, which was a digital camera and a flimsy little tripod, a plastic one. Connected the two and placed the tripod into the sand and released the shutter for a 10-second exposure. The camera started to tip backward into the sand.
Oh, no.
Yeah, fortunately, I caught my camera and saved it. But when I looked at what it captured, I saw the movement of the stars. And I realized I'd captured an experience, the experience that I was feeling at that time. And that was the experience of movement and time. And my husband was lying on his back on the sand. So I took my camera and placed it on his chest for a 30-second exposure and asked him to just breathe. And that was the beginning of the breathing portraits.
Oh my gosh. Well, I know over the years, the series has really grown from that singular experience with your husband to a project with more than 200 participants worldwide. What do you think is the effect of shifting from that micro view of an individual breath portrait to the more communal expression of breath represented by an installation of multiple portraits like that in the exhibition?
Well, I think it's a transformative experience from a unique moment in time to something much bigger. And I hope it offers the viewer a connection not only to nature, but to one another.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you for sharing your insights. And we hope people will be able to see the installation at the New Mexico Museum of Art in Santa Fe.